Hey, what's up pups? It's JR and I am officially back from my hiatus. For those of you who don't follow me on Twitter, I had some non-YouTube related business to take care of that I've been putting off for a bit, and that's why I didn't upload at all the past couple days. Well, that, and I just need a little bit of me time, consisting of leveling on Terra instead of Warframe, and playing the ever-living Christ out of Bloodborne whenever I had free time. But regardless, that's all out of the way now, and I can get back to business, starting with Season 4, Built to Destroy. I'll take this short opportunity to plug my Twitter a little more, because a lot of you are actually going uninformed by not following me on Twitter. That's where I post all of my random updates on the happenings outside of YouTube, as well as some other random shit that doesn't really matter. But it's mainly updates on my Twitter, so follow please. Also, for those of you who missed my last video talking about my hiatus and whatnot, which is probably a lot of you, seeing as how it wasn't Warframe related. I also now have a public Discord server, the link to which is going to be in the description of all my videos and on my Twitter page. When it was first publicized when the previous video was uploaded, it was pretty rough around the edges, but now it is slowly becoming more refined and user-friendly, and that's all thanks to my mods Wanty and Jake. Thanks a million, guys. Chris is a moderator too, but that's just because he's my brother. I don't think he's done anything at all, but whatever. So, if you want to join the Discord, just go to the link in the description. Anyway, what do you say we get into this episode, eh? Okay, what are the first things that come to mind when I say guns you think are super awesome, but will probably never be able to actually shoot one in real life? For me, the first three things that come to mind are miniguns, laser beams, and the most of all, railguns and coil guns. I lump these two together because in concept they're pretty much the same thing, it's just how they handle the concept that makes them different. Put on your learning hats because JR is about to educate you on rail and coil guns. Both railguns and coil guns launch a projectile through electromagnetism, but railguns propel projectiles by use of a sliding armature accelerated along a pair of conductive rails, and coil guns, or Gauss cannons, use electromagnetic coils to propel a projectile. To put it more simply, railguns use magnetic rails to be able to shoot stuff, and coil guns use magnetic curly fries to be able to shoot stuff. However, while both are extremely unlikely that I'll ever be able to shoot one, the more likely of the two is the coil gun, seeing as how railguns are usually large-scale military weapons mounted on warships to be able to lay fire on the target from miles away, and coil guns are on a much smaller scale, and there are even YouTube videos on how to make your own. However, I'm not about to attempt to make a Gauss cannon because not only would that probably be illegal in some way, but it would also probably end up exploding in my face and killing me. So I'm not going to try and make a coil gun, and neither should you, unless you have some serious amount of experience in working with electronics, magnets, and firearms. Making weapons, especially any type of firearm, is best left to professionals, and I'm just a guy who talks about fictional weapons in a fictional game on the internet. Anyway, I brought all this up because the weapon we're going to be talking about today is what we were just talking about. It's either a railgun or a coil gun, because the codex entry says it fires high-velocity projectiles through magnetic induction, which, depending on how you read it, means that it can be either of the two. But seeing as how coil guns are typically much more of a portable weapon, I'm gonna assume it's a coil gun. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the weapon is Lenka. Lenka is a Corpus rail coil gun that operates as a charge-fire sniper rifle. Much like all snipers in Warframe, it sports high damage and high critical capability with 525 base electricity damage and a 25% crit chance paired with a 2x base crit multiplier, with the added bonus of gaining crit chance based on the zoom level you are using when you fire the weapon when scoped. The lowest zoom level, 3x, adds 20% additive crit chance. The middle zoom level, 5x, adds 30% additive crit chance. And the largest zoom level, 8x, adds 50% additive crit chance. The cool thing about it being additive crit chance is that if you have no crit chance increasing mods on, and use the 8x zoom level, it's adding 50% more crit chance to your 25%, meaning Lenka goes up to a 75% crit chance without any crit chance increasing mods. Meaning, Lenka goes up to 75% crit chance without any crit chance increasing mods. But the coolness doesn't end there. Lenka also has a base status chance of 25%, making it also a very viable status weapon, if you decide you want to build it that way. Fun fact, Lenka was actually my main sniper for a long time. I used Lenka before I ended up switching to Vectis Prime, then to Rubico, and now back to Lenka. Partially because it's a very solid weapon, and partially because, well, coil guns are fucking cool. However, I used it for the very first time a very long time ago, so back then I didn't really have the modding experience I do now, and I didn't even have a Riven for it because, well, Rivens didn't exist. But now, I have both modding experience and a Riven for it, so needless to say, Lenka works a bit better than it did before. I will point out though that I am still trying to get a god tier roll on my Lenka Riven, so so at any point my Lenka is viable to a change in DPS. But for now, I've been operating on Lenka Lexavexitox. This Riven adds 93.6% toxin damage, 3 meters of punch through, and 98.1% electricity damage, while reducing the zoom level of Lenka by 53.5%, which is, for whatever reason, the negative that everyone wants, so cool, I guess. Anyway, due to this Riven adding both toxin and electricity damage, it essentially just adds 191.7% corrosive damage, and makes Lenka pure corrosive damage instead of pure electricity damage. Which kind of sucks, because Lenka was my weapon of choice for Tridolon runs, but now I can't make it radiation damage anymore, but whatever. With that out of the way, let's get to my build. I have Lenka Lexavexitox, Serration, Split Chamber, and Stormbringer increasing my overall damage, Point Strike and Vital Sense increasing my crit chance and crit damage respectively, Primed Shred increasing my fire rate and adding more punch through, and finally Hunter Munitions adding a 30% chance to proc a slash proc whenever I get a crit. But JR, Lenka doesn't have any slash damage. Doesn't that mean that your munitions procs won't do any damage? Quite the contrary, my uninformed friend. Lenka, as well as other weapons that have pure elemental damage with no slash damage to be seen, are actually some of the best weapons to use Hunter Munitions on. This is because Hunter Munitions doesn't have a slash damage stat to base its proc off of, so it just takes the other damage types and acts like it's slash damage. To put it simply, since my Lenka is 10,088 corrosive damage, to Hunter Munitions, it's actually 10,088 slash damage. This means this is one vicious fucking slash proc. I've also discovered that, with Hunter Munitions, you can slash proc the infested Juggernaut without even shooting it in its weak spots. So with a high enough damage weapon, you can kill the Juggernaut without him ever exposing his weak points. But right now, we gotta look at those damage stats. With my 6 Forma build, and my Riven specifically, Lenka gets up to 16,912 average overall damage and 25,368 average DPS. But keep in mind, this is without any buffs coming from the sniper hit combo. At a reasonable 2.5 times shot combo, Lenka gets up to 42,280 average overall damage and 63,421 average DPS. So, let's see what Lenka can do. That's going to wrap up this episode of Built to Destroy. If you enjoyed this video, consider dropping a like, and make sure to hit that subscribe button to become a pup if you haven't already. Also, if you want to support me and the channel, consider becoming a patron for as little as $1 a month. Also, as an added bonus, I'm going to start thanking my new $10 patrons. So, to start this new trend, I'm going to give a big ol' thank you to a patron who isn't new, but I owe a thank you to, HydraPoseidon, and my newest patron, PhyonesArc. And to the second person, I apologize because I probably said your name wrong. My name's JR, and I'll see you guys in the next one.